Yo people, what's poppin'? So today I'm going to talk about dietary fat. I don't know why I said yo people, what's poppin'. So dietary fat within the realms of someone's nutritional setup. So whether this is performance, whether this is body composition based, so this could be fat loss, muscle gain, or whether it is just overall health. So again, kind of the triangle of awareness, health, performance, and body composition. Obviously, they will be relatable in some ways, but I'm going to address them kind of separately. So why is dietary fat important? Well, in a nutshell, cognitive behavior, so kind of brain function, is going to be extremely important when it comes to dietary fat. We know that dietary fat as a whole, so mainly polyunsaturated fats like nuts, some oils, dark chocolate, things along those lines, so like nut butters, dark chocolate, oils, like coconut oil, are going to be extremely important for fueling the brain, okay? They're also going to be important for hormonal production, so testosterone in males, and obviously estrogen in females. Why is testosterone kind of important, and why is dietary fat obviously important for testosterone within a male? Well, if a male is looking to gain muscle, then obviously we know that adequate testosterone is going to lead to adequate muscle gain. But in order for us to have adequate testosterone, we obviously then need to have adequate dietary fat in our nutritional setup. So again, this may mainly be aimed at people who perhaps track their nutrition, but the principles would apply to someone who doesn't track their nutrition and perhaps could just make more conscious decisions based on what I'm about to say. So, and I'm not slating like any coach who goes, just being a calorie deficit, because 100%, like if you are, as long as protein is kind of where it needs to be, around 1 gram per pound is where I'd like to keep it anyway. Being in a calorie deficit, yes, will obviously create some sort of fat loss, right? You're going to lose weight if you are consuming less overall calories than your body physically burns. That's fine. But does that mean we are therefore going to be healthy as a result of this? So say I get someone, right, to eat, 2,000 calories, right? They're eating 150 grams of protein because they're 150 pounds. And then I say to them, the rest of your calories, do whatever you want. And this person goes away. They eat enough protein, but they consume biscuits, they consume chocolate, they fit whatever they can into their calorie setup. And they're like, well, I think my protein and, the rest fell where it fell. Which is fine because, calories being calories, they probably would achieve their body composition goals. But then we look at testosterone production, then we look at thyroid health. We dig deeper into the health markers. And I'd much prefer someone, especially during a fat loss phase, where testosterone may drop, thyroid health will definitely drop if you're trying to lose body fat at an efficient rate and a lot of it. You want to be healthy, and this applies to females as well. Again, both males and females, is you want to be healthy during any sort of nutritional phase. So where some people would go, oh, wow, I've got 50 grams of fat today in my nutritional setup, again, within my calorie setup, but all my 50 grams of fat just came from that tub of Breyers ice cream I had, that bowl of Cocoa Pops I had, the 5 digestive biscuits I had. So all your fat is coming from what we would consider trace fats. So trace fats are the small amounts of fats found in basically processed foods. So like Cocoa Pops has fat in them, but it's not an essential fatty acid. It's just the trace fats that come from the extremely processed way that they were made. So they're not gonna provide us with any actual benefit. Like if you're getting 50 grams of fat from Cocoa Pops, the 1 gram of fat in your bagel at lunchtime, the 5 grams of fat in that Pop-Tart you snacked on late at night, if you're getting all your dietary fat from those trace sources, then your brain health is probably not going to be that efficient. Your testosterone production probably won't be as high as it could be. Just your general gut health, again, like digestion overall, will probably be a bit dodgy if you're mainly consuming foods that have 25 plus ingredients. So it's it's looking at health within a calorie setter. And again, I have no problem with someone saying, yeah, just eating a calorie deficit. But like if I'm programming, and again, this is like Beck, especially if you're watching, like I will program, you know, a certain amount of fatty acids within a diet. So I'll be like, yeah, you have 50 grams of fat, but I want at least 40 grams to come from essential fatty acid sources, polyunsaturated fats like nut butters, again, oils, dark chocolates, things like that. So it's fine if you're hitting your fat intake. That's really good, and it's probably a nice place to start. But once you've kind of got in the swing of things with tracking, you should definitely be moving towards a more healthier kind of way of eating. And this comes to someone who doesn't track as well. Like if you don't track, obviously you're not going to know certain numbers, but just being like, well, I know I'm going to try and consume 3 times today an essential fatty acid source. Like I'm going to have salmon at lunchtime. I'm going to snack on some dark chocolate, and then I'm going to use coconut oil with my last meal at dinner time. So it's like you've intuitively set yourself up for a fatty acid source kind of 3 times per day, and this is something that a lot of people do miss out on, and I'm a sucker for it. Like when I started dieting this year, things weren't moving the way I wanted them to, like, and really, like, and I'm not putting it down to this, but all my dietary fat, and I was on about 45 grams per day because that was enough to support my hormonal health, was just coming from my low calorie tub of ice cream, my bowl of porridge. And again, like the fat in oats isn't an essential fatty acid. While it contains fat, it's not a polyunsaturated fat. So it wasn't probably providing me with the benefits I actually wanted it to. Obviously there's trace fats in whey protein. Again, it's not a fatty acid source. Like we should be looking at foods that are mainly dominant in fat. So I made the switch. I said that, look, if I'm getting 45 grams of fat, I do need to be getting it from polyunsaturated sources. So obviously, mainly my fat just comes from almond butter compared to peanut butter because it has a nicer taste, I think. 85% or more dark chocolate. And I'd like to say I eat more. Oh, and salmon. I absolutely love salmon. So I get my omega-3 fatty acids from my salmon that I consume most days as well. So yeah, so again, when it comes to dietary fat intake, whether you're tracking or not, you need to be ensuring that you are mainly, like I'd say 90% of the time, getting it from a fatty acid, a polyunsaturated fat source. And again, if you ever are stuck for what a polyunsaturated fat source is, just head on to Google and just type in polyunsaturated fat sources, and it will just give you a huge list of the ones that are highest in polyunsaturated fat. So that has been my little ramble on dietary fat. This will be uploaded to the SLS YouTube. I'm also going to stick on Instagram TV because I've never done one of those before and thought I'd give it a try. So yeah, I hope that video helps. And again, any questions, just like comment on the video, I guess. I don't mind helping people out. Like I don't charge for recipes or things I post to Instagram. Just ask me a question and I'll just answer it, really. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video on fat.